release is actually written by you. It seems a little arrogant. You send it in to the reporter who handles health, for example. There's always one that's listed. You could send it in directly to that person, written to where they could literally read it off the piece of paper. You are 10 times more likely to get your story run if it's already completed. And it's a simple thing. We don't have to write anything. Here's all the documentation. You write a simple 30-second spot. You could give an elevator ride on the virtues of the upright MRI in 30 seconds. It's an unbelievable opportunity. Using the history of the company. And we've had conversations about how we can use, for example, maybe Dr. Damadian is a little bit for publicity when we can figure out a way that's appropriate and everybody feels comfortable with it. But at first, you as the representative in your territory, it is your job to let everybody in the territory know it's there. Figure out creative ways to be able to take something that helps everybody with back pain and every single woman with scoliosis. Do men get scoliosis also?
Yeah,
okay, so men and women that have scoliosis, and let everybody know. I mean, this study really, to me, I would think that every TV station in your territory over a period of time would love to talk to you about this. And maybe we'd have to generate something that for part of it we already have pre-prepared for them to run, maybe a quick little history of the company. Something along those lines. Something very simple that you give it to them complete and it's done. But let's take that idea to the regular population. You can create the exact same buzz. There's not that many people that make that much money. It's a big enough number that we could sell thousands and thousands of these machines. But that group is not a big group and they all know each other. Create the buzz there. Who has pitched an investment group? Couple. How about a women's investment group? Did you know that if you go on the web right now, you could put in women and investment groups and you'll get them to pop up? I happen to think this is a better sale. If you could find wealthy women, I think this is a slam dunk sale. Just because with their nurturing attitudes that women have compared to what generally men have, I think that would be an unbelievable place to go pitch. You know what the biggest thing is? Yes, Lil.
How about going to every elementary school and just seeing the school nurse?
It's a perfect place to find scoliosis.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Creating a buzz within your territory, in my opinion, as a representative at heart, it is your responsibility to create that buzz.
You need to bring awareness to the product.
Absolutely. And from the numbers of my dialing around one installation, I am telling you, 100%, it's like Sal said, that's the only problem I'm seeing at this point. If everybody knew, this argument is so strong that I believe most doctors have, in good conscience, the want to make their patients reduce their pain. And if this will do it, they're going to have a hard time arguing that it won't do it. So your buzz within your territory is your responsibility to create. I mean, that's just the way it goes. How was I able to generate leads so quickly? Number one, it took me a lot of calls. That turned out to be like any other campaign. Actual people that would talk to me, I was finding at about 5 or 6%. So that's a pretty good campaign. I did 50 calls, which takes one person sitting down to actually reach that many people. Could take as many as 250 to 300 attempts to get those. But I have prospects, and I've been doing it for since January 3rd. So the prospects are there. We're worried and psychologically in our own minds, and I'm just giving you, I've done this for a lot of groups. Psychologically, we're scared of the word no. And we don't like rejection. You know what? No is your absolute best friend as far as I'm concerned, because it gets the stuff that we can't work out of the way. But when somebody goes, well, I don't know if I'd really be interested. I definitely want to give you the opportunity to decide not, well, if you're interested or not. I want to give you an educated yes or no way to know if you're interested or not. Well, that sounds interesting. And then I do a teaser to get in for the appointment. So picking the demographics first, completely the most important thing. All energies will be focused if you get the correct list. If you don't get the correct list, you'll be banging your head against the wall, you'll be frustrated, and nobody wants to be frustrated. Now the second step. Now that we've picked the demographics, we want to make sure that the list that we got from them is accurate. Because there might be mailing involved, there's expense, there's effort for calling, there's all kinds of things where you're going to have to use energy of different kinds. So the best way to do it is to call every prospect and verify the information. So the majority of these people you're not going to get directly on the phone. They're going to have somebody, an assistant or a secretary, however you're hunting these people down. So what we need to do in step number 2 is make sure that all of our marketing efforts are directed at the correct people, verifying that the list. So very often, you may want to do this. I would be thinking, if I was you, bringing on a real inexpensive assistant, maybe part-time, somebody with a great personality that might be able to do some work for you, that you might be able to pay in most parts of the country, $8 to $10 an hour, that you can have do some of that front work for you. So in other words, if I have reps that are going to get involved with me in selling this machine, for example, I'm going to have people do all the front work for them. So I'll have them find out who the correct prospects are, that we have the address correct, that I got information in their hand, all that front work, and then I hand it to a pro closer, and then it's his job to chase that person down. Whatever it takes, as many calls as it takes, whatever it takes. So that's how we make the jump to sales. So we want to know in step 2 that we have the correct prospect. In step 3, what we want to do is we want to make sure that everything that we get out in front of them is to sell them. That's where Tom comes in a lot of ways, and Sol. They're getting together to make slicks, or brochures, I call them slicks, of sale information, not of necessarily just talking about how great the MRI is, but sales information that like tips somebody's interest so that we can get them into the game. That's number 3. Number 4 is actually calling them up and pitching them. And this is really a very, very simple presentation. To the doctors, we're going in and asking if they're even aware of the technology as our opener, because it's the easiest way to get stuff in front of them. To an investor, just a straight-up investor, I'm doing the pitch about the other inventions that were invented that changed the history of man. If somebody was able to get involved in that investment, how did they do? If I have an investment similar to that, are you interested in if it's lucrative or not? That's it. But what is it? Yes, I would be interested, but what is it? Sir, I need to sit with you to be able to go over the details, but I guarantee you within a half an hour, you'll have a very clear picture of what I'm talking about. And I get half an hour up front open appointments. When I started in the alarm business at 19, we went out and saw anybody that would just agree to meet us. We would call people up and go, I'm the new representative for Dictograph in your territory. I just want to stop out and introduce myself. We did tons of business from that. Why did we do tons of business from that? Because if you're a closer and somebody opens the door and you can step in, most of the job is done. Because your argument is good enough. So we simply need to get in front of the prospect. Telling is not selling. The minute you give up too much information on the phone and excite them too much, you've now lost the opportunity to close them in their most excited position. It's a big failure in sales. We're great at telling it. We're great at... You can watch somebody's blood pressure going up. You know when you're exciting a person. Absolutely you know it. That's when we have to